Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is James Bland. I'm an Emmy-nominated actor and content creator. I am the creator, showrunner, and star of the hit digital series Giants that streams on Issa Rae's YouTube channel. I really just looked around me. I looked at myself, I looked at my friends, and I dug into my personal life in a way that I had not done before in any project prior to Giants. And I wrote the first draft of episode 1, season 1, and then just immediately went into production. I did not have a second episode written. I did not have the full season broke. I just wrote an episode. I called some friends and I said, hey, I want to shoot this project. For me with Giants, initially the goal was really to create a gym. I wanted to create a space for myself to grow as an actor, as a writer, and as a director. And for me, the best way to do that was to get my feet wet and just to dive right in, to create a project that allowed, myself and, my friends to really show and prove what we can do. And so with Giants, we would go episode by episode during the first season. We would shoot episode 1, and then I would sit down and say, all right, James, so where are we going with this story? And I would write the next episode, and then we would go back into production. People really gravitate to stories that are really connected and grounded in truth. And I also just realized that I had something to say. And when I think about the type of artist that I want to be, I don't want to make content for entertainment purposes alone. I want to make content that has the ability to really impact the lives of its viewers. And there is healing power in the truth. There's healing power in sharing your testimony and talking about the things that you have gone through. So let's say you have a show. You've produced it. You have content that is ready to go, ready to be put out into the world, and you're looking for a home. My advice is to find a platform that you can link with. There's always the option, to distribute the content on your own, to create a YouTube channel, to create a Facebook page, and to just put it out into the world. Know that that is an option, that works. It's essentially how Issa Rae Presents started. Issa had her own YouTube channel and she uploaded Awkward Black Girl. So you can do that. What I have found and what my advice is to content creators, because there's so much content, the market is extremely saturated, and it really is an uphill battle when you start to look at marketing and how am I gonna just get the news out that this show exists. It's really helpful to have a built-in audience. And so I would suggest to do some homework, find some platforms, create a pitch, and then go and pitch your show to platforms like Issa Rae Presents or Black and Sexy, or Facebook Watch, and there are so many content platforms out. You have LOL, you have Soul Pancake, you have just a ton of YouTube channels that are looking for content in particular from diverse voices. And so create a pitch deck, make sure you have your log line, make sure you have at least a sample episode or a trailer ready to go so folks can see what your show is and what the production value of it is, and then send it. So you're creating a pitch deck and you want to know what are the elements that you can include. Number one, you want a summary of what your show is. You want to be able to tell who your characters are and what's the journey that these characters are going to take throughout multiple episodes. And so with that, it's always great to include what the tone and the style of the show is. It's great to include an episode guide if you can. So you have your pilot episode and you have your summary in terms of what's happening in the first episode. But platforms also want to know where is the show going across multiple episodes. And so an episode guide will be able to detail that information. Then I think it's also great to include who the team is, behind the show, and also what's your potential reach. How many social media followers do you have? What is your intended marketing plan for this show? And also, why do you feel as a creator this show is going to resonate with audiences? The next step is really to assemble the team. I like to say, build the team, right? And so it's figuring out who is going to help you actually bring this idea to fruition. I like to team with folks who share similar work ethics, and also finding people who really believe in and see the vision. It's important to get people who really believe in the project, mainly because as independent content creators and filmmakers, typically the budgets won't be big, but the hours will be long. And so you want people who are passionate about this idea, and people who are passionate about the potential and the possibility of where this can go. So that's number one. I often suggest reaching out to friends and getting recommendations for folks that they've worked with, and getting referrals for people who have a reputation for being just really great people. Because hours are so long on film sets and in production, you really want to work with people that you like and people who are enjoyable to be around. But in addition, you want people who have the skill set to get the job done. And so you want to ask for reels, and you want to ask for resumes. Once you build a team, then it's time to actually start having production meetings. One thing that a lot of content creators forget is to think about and to start having the discussion about marketing even before you shoot, because it's really important that you have a marketing plan and a clear idea of the assets that you're gonna need to market your project. And so I'm a big believer in having bonus content and having things that you can use to then drive tune in for your episodes. And so while we're in production on Giants, we're always capturing behind the scenes elements. We're doing interviews with cast and crew, and we're figuring out what are some additional content that we can produce while we have the cameras and while we have the lights, that we can then release via social media to support the episodes, to get people excited. My rule of thumb is you want to create content that also feels like content and that doesn't necessarily feel like promo, because typically audiences can recognize a trailer, they can recognize promotions or an ad, or when you're trying to sell them something right away. And so you want to create something that adds value to your viewers.